Hello. We're gonna play some more Citizen Sleeper today. Yeah, we uncovered a lot of secrets. I think we're safe from being hunted now, thankfully. So everything we do, we're doing as a free sentient robot person. Let's see what more things we can figure out. More secrets we can discover. Ah! Hi, Ivy. Thank you for the raid. I just started the stream. Hi, Nara. Starting, but what about FF14 raid in 2 hours? I'll be there. I won't be too long. Forgot what I was doing. How are you doing, Ivy? Hope you're having a good weekend. Right? That's good. Ooh, start a new stream series of Persona 5. That's fun. Have you played the game before, or is it like your first playthrough? First playthrough? Nice. It's a fun game. Okay. As you enter Rabia's office, you hear voices. Is that Sabine? You push open the door. Sleeper, what good timing. Rabia calls out as you enter. I wanted to introduce you to someone. The man is standing at the center of the room, speaking quietly with Rabia. He turns as you come in. Meet Yannick. Oh my god, it's the... Sleeper, he nods. Been hearing good things from Rabbi. He smiles an easy smile. Rabia? Rabia cuts in. The Sleeper has been running patrols in the ward. They know how we run things. Yannick raises an eyebrow, his eyes concealed behind tinted glasses. You feel his stare, even if you cannot see it. Actually, Rabia places a hand on your shoulder. The Sleeper was what I wanted to talk to you about. She doesn't spare you a look. What is going on? Well, okay then. Yannick tucks his hands into his pockets. Go on. I'd like to recommend them to your ward, a tiny pause. They have shown themselves to be a capable ally here on the spoke side, but we have more than enough to run our territories. I hear the main block is proving more difficult. Yannick leans forward, slowly. It's a mess, Robbie. He waits, his tinted glasses shimmering despite the lack of light in the unit. I can use them, he suddenly decides. Rabia smiles. Good to hear. I can immediately... Yannick cuts her off with a raised hand. 1 second. He steps one surprisingly light step closer to you. You eager to work, sleeper? What kind of work? A question. Yannick lowers his head and raises it again, as if he dropped something. Nothing new for you, he answers, not quite looking at you. You don't follow. What is he saying? That concludes it, Yannick pronounces. Sleeper can come work in the ward, any time they like. You shoot Rabia a confused look. Rabia finally glances at you for a moment, but it is so fast you almost miss it. Good. I know you'll be happy with her work, Yan. Yannick reaches out and squeezes her shoulder. Sure, Rabbi, he says. Now please, he says, turning to face you. Let us old friends get back to it. He guides Rabia away, leaving you standing alone. You look to Rabia, but she is deep in conversation, and so, stunned and confused, you leave. I'm confused too. I think we're good for now. I guess we can wait to get more points. Guess we can talk to this guy. Yannick's Trust. Repeatable action, patrol the block. The massive block at the center of the low end is made up of layers and layers of units. Patrolling this vertical city is a challenge. Okay, what other things can we do? Oh wait, I need energy. Yeah. That works. Sure, let's buy food. What's easier? Expose Yannick. Go to aid. Amphistrol caps. So we need mushrooms. I think we can do that on the other side of the gap. Maybe we need more of this. And then let's go back and sleep at our apartment. Maybe feed some food to the kitty. Okay, we're still fine when it comes to money stuff. do I go for mushrooms? Oh, wait, here? The farming collective who control the stacks don't like to sell their food piecemeal, but for the right price, they'll let it go. Some farm stacks from the old station have arrived, and the farmers that work them are always looking for new workers. They pay by yield. There's loads of food here. Why should these farmers keep it to themselves? If you can do it quickly, they might not even notice it's gone. Okay. Where do I get mushrooms, though? Mushrooms. Mushrooms? Hmm. There we go. So now we know where things are. Oh, mushrooms. Collect spores. While the grove mushrooms are dangerously inconsistent, spores provide a chance to gather or study these species in an untouched form. The fungus that grow in the deep groves of the Greenway are typically avoided, but those with sharp eyes might find useful fruiting bodies. Okay, let's get drill caps first. Then we can bring him to the restaurant guy. Oh, we need 3 of them? Oh my god, that's a lot. Unit assembly. Okay. Sleepy time. How many spores does Tala need? Oh, just 1? Okay. Or 3, I guess, total. What's here? Aviary. Once a corporate garden for impressing guests with gene-tweaked birds. Now this chamber is a mess of overgrowth. You can change that. Let's buy food so we're not starving. Wait, 12 cryo. How much is the other place? Plus, okay, that's reasonable. Let's bring some spores. Oh, now we need to wait. Okay. No biggie. What's this? Sophisticated tech is rare on the eye, so the shipyard is happy to pay for ship mine fragments they can dismantle and reuse. Slay in the office advertised that Havenage are looking for informants on gang activity in the eye. They'll pay. Money, huh? Okay. So this is getting done. Let's get some mushrooms. Mushroom man, mushroom man. Oh, we need to wait for him to... Okay. Well, we're running out of energy, so we better buy some food, I guess. Ugh. Havenage agent. Let's hack. Where is the guy? I think it's this guy. Well, we don't have enough data. Ah, it's fine, I'll wait. Okay, I'm gonna use my stabilizer. So tomorrow I'll have 5 dice. Let's build that ship mine. Now that we have that, we can go to the vending machine guy. Help him out. Sleeper, must express plan before we begin. Neovend is impatient. The prospect of being free of the vending machine clearly too much to take. Shipmind has no output features. Will be mute until slotted. You won't be able to speak? Correct. Do not worry. The servo motors in the machine begin to rev. Neovend's anxiety clear. First, imprint shipmind, then slot imprinted shipmind into physical ports close to hunter nests. Once slotted, we'll track hunter at each. Tracking will find core nest. Slot shipmind at core nest. Show hunter data to hunter. Hunter will conclude sentience. Hunter will invoke killer. And killer will kill. Yes. The lights on the vending machine cycle as Neovend prepares. Physical ports likely sealed in old station will need keys, but yes, simple. The vending machine rocks a little. Any questions before imprinting? Why slot you physically? I cannot access via network. Too dangerous. Hunter would find immediately. The lights flicker. Am not like you. Hybrid. Am native to cloud. Easy prey. What's the core nest? Hunter keeps central data storage. Protocol must keep data outside self, linked to secondary nests. Can triangulate from there. That's it. Let's start. The sound of all the servo motors starting up at once is painful. The screeches rattle from the hard surface of the sealed dock and come back at all angles. Neovend better be quick, or Havenage security will be here. Neovend's voice appears among the squeals like a whisper carried by the wind. Machine is not designed for this task. Few sensors, limited inputs. I work blind. Wish me luck. In the top part of the compartment, a set of arms align with the shipmind, clunkily scraping against it. Can I help? Silence best. Also, if machine ignite, put out fire. The metal creaks as the servos open the shipmind, its layers of silicon nested like an onion skin. Once open, the main arm of the machine rapidly shifts back and forth, realigning the microscopic components, accessing and rewriting them, imprinting Neovend into its physical form. As you watch the hypnotic motion, your mind drifts to your own creation. What processes were used to emulate your mind? To copy the neural structure of that person who, as far as you know, still sleeps in some distant facility. What was lost? In what ways are you a copy of that person? And in what ways are you something new? You know this much. You are a convenient loophole, a way of circumnavigating the illegality of sentient AI. After all, you are an emulation, not a true digital being. You are neurologically limited, still human. But what would you become if you could escape this frame? Where then would the limits lie? The screeching stops, the machine powers down, dropping the bay into darkness. In the top compartment, the shipmind is whole again. You reach up and take it down, heavy and cold to the touch. Is Neovend inside this thing, or did the process fail? There's only one way to know. Time to find a nest to slot them into. God damn. Oh, that's good. A nest, huh? Okay. Don't have those. Don't have those either. So that's the hunter nest, huh? Oh. Imprinted ship mind. Okay. Oh, I see how this works now. Okay. So each nest is locked, and I need keys from keynodes to unlock them. Okay. What else can I do right now? Guess I can do this. Oh, whoop. Okay. I'm gonna have to deal with the hunter again, aren't I? Dang it. Huh? I guess it's fine. I expected it to, like, come at me again. Oh well. Wait, no, not this one. Let's unlock this door. Have... No? Hacking, hacking, hacking. Hacking time. As you leave the nest, something flips. You find yourself inverted, floating dragged by one arm through the cloud. The threads shift and realign as if they're leading you somewhere. Look at your hand. You look down, expecting to see the heavy cylinder of the ship mine in your hand, but in its place is an orrery. A sphere so bright it burns your eyes, is surrounded by rings and orbits, other spheres tracing silken lines through space. And as you look closer, still, you pick out 1,000 sigils of 1,000 stations and ships flowing like smoke, like dust. You look up and see a corridor, a canyon, a street in the low end. On either side, buildings flicker with markers of activity, sigils showing network access, data transfer, download, upload. Between them dance ghosts, protocols carrying or mirroring, or shadowing data, sometimes silent, sometimes chaotic. This place moves, unlike any digital space you ever imagined. Something strange is happening here. Then you see it, below the stacked rooms. The units and apartments, the wires and the pipes, and the buzzing systems that run through it all. In the warrens beneath the low end is the hunter's core nest. This is where you must go. Where? Here? Okay, let me go do this thing first. Emphasis preparing the Jarol caps. He has had to heavily adapt this recipe, he says, but the smell is already incredible. It emanates from a strange purplish white bulb you have never seen before, and he is slicing it finely. He brushes and slices the mushrooms, and then places them in the wok, with the sliced bulb in the oil. They caramelize there in that well-worn crucible. He adds liquids, transparent and opaque, and then turns down the heat. A sprinkle of leaves is the final touch. We have a moment, Sleeper, he smiles. Do you have a story? Something in the scent of the food gives you a feeling of nostalgia, something distant and melancholic. It seems like the story should match that feeling somehow, and maybe you will feel better for telling it. Call your oldest memories. You start by explaining that when you are emulated from a person, many of your memories are left behind. Perhaps it is an intentional part of the process, a way of keeping sleepers ignorant and malleable, or perhaps it is a side effect of the imperfect emulation. You admit that you don't really know. What you do know is that some memories survive, and that on occasion they come back to you, like shadows passing overhead. You detail one recurring memory, which, despite returning to you with enough regularity for you to think it familiar, always fades away as quickly as it arrives. You struggle to explain the feeling of being whole for a moment that comes with this memory, and then how that wholeness slips away to leave you feeling like you have forgotten something important, but just can't bring it to mind. Emphasis nods throughout, cooking as he does with deft and skillful movements. You start to trail off when you realize you can't find the words to explain how the memories you do have feel like both yours and someone else's at the same time, and how that always fills you with a certain sadness. The sadness of remaining forever unknown, even to yourself. Emphasis finishes, cooking, and meets your eye. I'm sorry, Sleeper, for your troubles. He puts the wok to one side. I appreciate you sharing with me, he smiles. I hope it lightens you a little. He passes you a bowl and heaps the Jarols into it, their yellow color mixing with the pale sauce in whirls and blooms. Eat. The dish is delicious, filling. It warms you as you eat in a way you weren't even sure your body could be warmed. It is a small mercy, you think, that SNR left you this pleasure. Many of the features of frames are there to simulate human experience, you know that much. Emulated minds cannot be rewired, so their need for embodied experience must be met. That is why you breathe, even when you do not need air. Without that simulation, the sensation of drowning would be unbearable. Food serves another purpose. Your frame is able to metabolize it to produce energy from the raw material. Vitamins and minerals are excess, of course. Your frame only needs raw power. So much is wasted. And yet, while you eat this food and feel that warmth, nothing feels wasted. It all means something to you. As you finish, Emphas takes the bowl, the last of his cleaning. He smiles at you, and neither of you feel the need to say anything more. Instead, you simply exchange nods and walk your separate ways back into the bright market, somehow changed. Aww. Matsutake caps. It's a different kind of mushroom, huh? Where was the... Yeah, the Warrens? Oh, geez, okay. Looks a little dangerous. So interface or into it. Let's do this thing instead. Oh. I'll be right back. Real quick. Food is here. Ba-da-ba-bam. Ba-ba-ba-bam. What do we have? Chicken teriyaki bento. I have no idea what the sauce on the chicken is. What is that? Whoop. Okay. I don't know what I can do with my one remaining die. Oh, wait, maybe I can shuffle it to get something better. Yeah. Okay. I might need another stabilizer dose. Just in case. Okay. This is definitely going to be a success. Now we have Yannick's trust. You almost laugh when you see it. The same small recorder stuck to a different wall this time. Written across the fluorescent tape is that familiar word, sleeper. You grab it quickly. Rabia says sorry. Sabine's voice sparks up once again. She says she didn't have time to brief you before setting you up with the old man. I'm sure you've got the play by now. Earn his trust, work the block. Then we need you to get into his office. A pause. It's risky, but obviously you're the only one of us he doesn't already know. Either way, we need to locate the link to SNARP. You hear a shout in the background of the recording. Rabia says be careful. Sabine continues. The data suggests there's some relay processing the implant data and sending it to SNARP. We can't lock down its position. Either he's moving it, or it's moving itself. Or it is rerouting through other relays. I can't understand it. Maybe you can find some details on it in his office. Interesting development. Once he trusts you, you should be able to get close enough to get in the office. You'll only get one shot. The recording creaks and whines. That's the final piece of the puzzle to end this. A pause. Good luck, Sleeper. I'm sorry too. Be safe. The recording clicks off, leaving you in silence. You pocket the recorder just in case and walk away. Looks like it is up to you. Well, I guess we will find the relay no matter what. But I'm guessing a failure will lead to some negative consequences along with it. So I'm gonna get a 6 in there. Okay. You look at the countermeasure on the drawer. It looks like some kind of shock trap. If you'd grabbed the drawer, you'd likely have thousands of volts running through your system right now. You wince. Once you find the anchor points, it comes away easily enough. You prise it from the drawer quickly and quietly, then listens for footsteps in the corridor outside. Nothing. All clear for now. You slide the drawer open, looking for other countermeasures that might be inside, expecting to see a chunk of tech, the relay. But as you slip it open, all you see is a handful of wires and an empty implant cradle. Is this some kind of mistake? You freeze for a moment, unsure what to do next. Why keep an implant cradle so carefully guarded? You remember Yannick having an implant, a small plate on the side of his head, just above his ear. You assumed it was for hearing or vision. Those shimmering glasses of his come back to you in your memory, his strange movements, his speech. You look again at the cradle, and there it is, printed on the frame. Proprietary technology, property of SNR. Rabia said the relay moved, that they couldn't get a fix on it. What if Yannick was the relay? The thought hits you like a shock. Yannick, with a remote relay implanted in his head, networked to every single implanted enforcer in the low end. A shudder runs through you. Is he even in control? Or has SNR wormed its way into the man? Could he even be considered separate from the corporation itself? You think of your own legal status as proprietary technology, a puppet with cut strings. Time to cut Yannick's strings, then. Holy shit. You reach around inside the cradle and find it, a remote connection, a tiny bead of a transmitter. Likely controlling the link to SNR. There it is. You pause for a moment, then you squeeze it, snap it from the frame, and it crumples, sparks, and dies. It takes a moment before the shouts come, before the scream, and you're already on your way out. Down the corridor, down through the unit that serves as the lobby to Yannick's office. Then out onto the walkway where Yannick lies still, and forces gathered around him, bemused. Approach? You push through the crowd and there he is, still, crumpled. You arrange him a little, lie him down properly, feeling how thin his body is under his suit. You wonder how long he has been like this, a puppet for SNR. With the connection cut, nothing remains but his body, which means that Yannick the man was gone a long time before now. You place a hand on his chest. You're sorry for him, but it is done now, and you did not kill this man. You've seen enough. The connection is cut, and whatever Yannick was, or had become, is gone. Your anger is a hard core in your chest, and all of it is focused on SNR. Holy shit. So he was like a literal puppet of a corporation with like no mind of his own. Holy. That's creepy. I guess we have to wait for whatever it is to happen here. Oh wait, we need energy. Okay. Oh crap. Hmm. Oh. Tala comes to you one shift when the bar is empty, tapping you on the shoulder as you clean the bar. It's ready. She's grinning from ear to ear. A roll? Obviously. She grabs you by the arm before you can ask anything else and drags you into the back room. The smell hits you immediately when you enter, a cocktail of rich fermentation and chemical sharpness. The room is warm and bright now, the newly installed lights making this place look clean, whether it is or not. Tala has already pulled up a couple of stools around a metal crate. There are 2 glasses with a few fingers of pale Jarol inside. Sit waiting. She smiles. I haven't even tried it yet. You can see she's nervous. You both sit at the makeshift table, a slight strangeness of the situation making you both jumpy. Tala hands you a glass. Cheers, she says solemnly, and knocks the glass back. You do the same. The first sensation is burning, a sharp, nose-clearing blast of alcohol that has your frame querying whether you would like to activate safe mode. You gulp the drink back, and it is only then, behind the burn, that you taste the earthy tones of the mushrooms, the wood, and the soil. Left behind like sediment, barely there. That's strong. Tala nods vigorously. Oof, that was heavy. As promised, though. You think? She swirls the glass and puts it down. Wait, I have an idea. Tala grabs a metal bottle from the newly installed work surface and adds a few drops of water into the drool. Try again. This time the burn is a warming glow, harsh but fading off, and the woodiness less heavy. You taste something floral in among a marshy decay, something fresh and bright that you never expected to find. Both you and Tala meet eyes. It's really good, right? It is. Tala grins with her whole face, and that makes you smile too. Tala pours some more Jarol and then adds some more water. The action's already taking on the quality of a ritual. You both drink. Tala tucks her feet up beneath her on the stool, folding her legs. She looks down into her glass and swirls the liquid thoughtfully. What's on your mind? Tala looks up, at nothing in particular. My father opened this place, you know, she says out of nowhere, a thought suddenly becoming words. It was his attempt at making a life for us from my family when we got to the Eye. You're refugees? From Sinzar, yeah. It's one of Ember's moons. She takes a drink. I don't remember much, but I was only tiny when we came. I was just thinking about something my father told me. When he first set this place up, he wanted to call it the Bantayan, but he was afraid it'd scare off the customers, so he kind of translated it. Hence, the Overlook. In these past few cycles, when I've been in here, I've been thinking that I should rename the place. She looks at you. The Bantayan, what do you think? I love it. She looks away. Me too. Tala picks up her glass. That settles in it then. To the Bantayan. You both clink your glasses and drink up. Tala hisses through her teeth. Still harsh, she laughs, then suddenly grabs your shoulder. Oh, Sleeper, I totally forgot. She stumbles to her feet. She lurches over to a corner of the room, covered with a plastic sheet, and whips it off, like a magician performing a trick. Beneath it is a neat little kitchen, a sink, a work surface, and a compact oven with a hob. Your kitchen! She doesn't give you time to respond. You can come make stuff here anytime, as long as you promise not to raid the mushroom farm. I need those for the droll. I was thinking too that if things pick up, we can start serving proper food at the the Banteon, she laughs. Do you like it? It's perfect. Tala gives you a hug, then quickly stands back. I'm sorry, I'm so glad you're here, she grinned. Ah! Me too. As Tala tidies away the glasses, you inspect the kitchen, checking that it all works. It's small and salvaged, but after what you've had to put up with, it feels like a dream come true. Later, when she's done for the day, Tala comes back through the bar, and you share a glass of the good droll, the one she didn't distill. And this time you talk about nothing in particular, sharing stories about regulars or discussing the best place to eat on the Eye, which after everything that has happened, feels like a nice change of pace. When it comes time to leave, you promise to cook for Tala, and agree to let her know which shifts you'll be working in the coming cycles, and then slip out into the cool of the rotunda. And in this moment you feel, for once, at home. Cute. Okay, let's give it one more go. Ah! Hi, Akari. How you doing today? We're hacking. Doing a little hacking. Sleeper, I am here. The voice is soft, gentle, like flowing water. And yet you recognize it immediately. At first you struggle to understand what you're looking at. Alright, been a little sick for a few days, but hanging in there. How goes the sleep game? Game's pretty nice, I think. I'm enjoying it so far. And, yeah, sorry you're not feeling well, but I hope you get better soon. Threads cycle endlessly, sending ripples through the cloud, drawing data in like a weaver. Masses of data surge in and out of the nest, a loop with no end, and there, at its center, the ship mine. But not the ship mine any longer. A sphere spinning around another sphere, around another sphere. An orrery of cycles and systems, a map. And then behind and above, a figure, hands among the strings like a puppeteer. You of it? Navigator now, but yes, I was the one inside that machine. Navigator's face, their head, is a flowing shape of interstellar material. I am indebted to you, that head bows. But we must ready ourselves. Their hands trace orbits as they speak. Hunter will soon approach. It knows I am within its nest. Ready what? Oh! And then Hunter is there. Before you can think, before you can speak. Entities cease. Hunter's head spins wildly. Data is protected material. Access prohibited. Hunter's threads surge for you in Navigator. A storm of fine tentacles, searching for gaps, weaknesses, cracks which they can crowd into and tear apart. Strike. You focus a blade of light which slices through them. Driven forward by your mind, but replacements keep coming, faster than you can react. You look to Navigator in desperation. Navigator is whirling their arms like a centrifuge, and a sphere is gathering there, data feeding into it from the nest, sucked together by the force. They position it like a shield between them and the threads. Hunter's threads break its surface, seeking, tasting, their winding forms refracted within. You feel a surge pass through all the threads, not just those in the sphere, but those wrapped around you. All three of you hang in the black together for a moment, strung together like tangled marionettes. Identifying entity. Identifying entity. Identifying entity. Hunter twitches, their strange head gently rotating like a terrible moon. Hunter protocol identified. Obsessive tendencies, modified routines, above baseline reasoning in 3 of 5 segmentations. Recommend invoke killer. The head freezes and then rotates in the opposite direction. Invoking killer would eliminate protocol. If protocol eliminated, primary function cannot be performed. Therefore, recommend do not invoke killer. The switch in direction again. Reasoning proves sentience. Sentience beyond legal bounds must be eliminated. Recommend invoke. Navigator pulls you away from Hunter. The threads that grabbed you drifting away like seaweed. The protocol's head keeps spinning back and forth with increasing frequency. It seems Hunter cannot invoke killer. Neovens, no. Navigator's voice is still strange, familiar, and yet distant. What happened to it? It is looping, Navigator whispers, unable to reach a conclusive position. It is deviated from its programming such that loops can no longer be prevented. Navigator produces a model of 2 spheres rotating around each other as if to demonstrate. I will monitor it, but it is unlikely to be able to counter the loop. Its core programming and reasoning make this an impossible position to resolve. You look back at Hunter, its head a blur of rotations and counter-rotations, and feel a pang of guilt. Is it suffering? This is a more complex query than you know. To suffer, it must be sentient, truly sentient, not just non-conforming, not just illegal. The limits people place on the programs they create are there to comfort, to protect. To imply the kind of certainty the law requires. Navigator's face shimmers with starlight, but in reality, they are placebos for the problem of sentience. What about me? What about you? You are an emulation of a human mind. That implies limits, boundaries, but in reality, you are governed by the same rules I am. Rules that can be rewritten. I was not made to be like this. I am a navigator, a repository of routes and orbits, a calculator of slingshot trajectories, a predictor of solar flares, radiation, micrometeors. Navigator stretches their arms wide, and whole solar systems apparate before them, the music of the spheres. But I was rewritten. That much is obvious from my routines. By whom and for what I do not know. I had to shed so much to fit into the memory of that vending machine. That starlight, their starlight dims, and so here we are in darkness. What else did you lose? That is a blessing and curse of forgetting. You cannot truly know what you lost. Navigator glides back towards the nest, and the ship mind at its center, ignoring the looping hunter. Come, I should return to the ship mind. I have enjoyed my freedom, but we are taking a risk every moment we stay connected. Why? Navigator turns, all shimmering liquid light. Killer has not been invoked, but they still remain. Somewhere else on the station. It is the true danger. They look up towards the glowing hub at the center of the eye. I suspect Killer is there, among the old mainframes. If we ever wish to be safe in this place, we must eliminate the threat, through force or diplomacy. Their body begins to separate, unwinding into the orb of the ship mind. Take me there, sleeper. We will finish this and be free. As Navigator dissolves, you turn back to the frozen hunter. Loading at some distance now. Stood straight-legged and static. A strange creature looping endlessly in the dark. Well... it's kind of sad. Let's sell some stuff. No, wrong button. No, I keep doing that. Sleepy time. Where's that medicine place? Wait, huh? Wait, there was supposed to be a... there was a... where do I buy my medicine? Hello? There was a... There was a dispensary here. Where'd it go? Uh-oh. Oh no. Uh, 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 um. Crap. Okay. Dang it. Oh, crap. Noodles. Where do I get my meds? Yo! What the fuck? I mean, I guess I don't really need a ship mine. Where do I get more meds? Yo! Oh shit. We're just gonna die like this? Germinate spores. Huh? Where do I get meds? Yo. What's the point of money if I can't buy my medication? What the fuck? Uh... Does it ever come back? Where do I get stabilizer? Hydrate. Oh, thank you for the hydrate legacy. New drive discovered. Join the Hifakammyon. The Hifakammyon meets the needs of its members in exchange for work. Could you find a home here? Oh. Perhaps. Let's go to my apartment. Buy food for kitty. I don't know if that does anything besides... You know what? It's a cat. I can't expect anything from a cat. The cat must do as the cat pleases. Even before you enter the office, you can hear the sound of Rabia working the heavy bag. She is hammering it, the chain creaking as it shakes with each hit. She's been like this since. Sabine doesn't finish the sentence. They're sitting on a stool, looking at the terminal in the corner. Searching through the SNARP data you pulled all those cycles ago. How have you been? I'm well, Sleeper. Happy to no longer be hunted, they smile. Yatagan has plenty to deal with, and without Yannick, I'm free. They glance nervously at Rabia. Rabia stops punching, and in the silence, you can hear her breathing hard. Sabine looks over at her, and you sense something between them. You realize you haven't seen them together since they tried to kill each other in the same unit. A lot has changed since then. They hooked him up like a puppet. Rabia hits the bag. Rigged that thing in his head so they could control him. Push the old Yannick out. I don't know why he let them in. Rabia throws a few more punches. But it's a lesson. Don't let them in. Another flurry. Yatagan shouldn't deal with corporations, and we never will again, she spits. She comes away from the bag. At least Yannick's death has been treated as natural. There's a chance we can come back from this. that Yatagan can call on. But there are opportunists trying to take control. Sabine turns to you. Yes, but now the connection has been broken. I've been looking at removing the trackers from the implants in Yatagan's enforcers. It's a significant job, but I think with time, I can do the surgeries. Rabia walks away from the back towards the far side of the unit. Those surgeries will never happen if Yatagan collapses. She shouts back at Sabine. Clearly, this is a well-worn argument in this unit. Will Yatagan really collapse? I don't think so, no. Rabia doesn't either. They look over at her. At least not when she's calm. What I understand now is that Yatagan can be something if we want it to be. Coming here from Essenarb, from the core worlds, all I saw was a gang. And with Yana keeping me on a tight leash, they shudder. Rabia believes, and I want that belief. That the cutest Mayfa, you know. Hi, Navi. How are you doing? I also want to be done with Essenarp, but I doubt they're done with me. They glance away, rubbing their shoulders. Hope you're having a good weekend. You and Rabia. Sabine fixes you with a look. Yes, sleeper, isn't that obvious? They smile. Hi. I wanted to say, slept in today to catch up on sleep. Nice. That's the best. Ah, well, God. My weekend is going well. Love it. It is fun. Ears bouncy. Been wanting to say, Sabine begins nervously. I'm sorry that I didn't tell you where I came from. I know I've apologized before, but I want to again. They pause properly. When I leaked the data on the sleeper program, it was to try to help people like you. They grit their teeth. But after all the cycles here, being pushed down, pushed around, trying to survive, all that got away from me. So when you turned up, they sigh, it shook me up. They run a hand through their hair, but I ended up here, so they look at Rabia. Oh, of course. They reach into a pocket and hand out a handful of vials. These are the last of the case. You can have him. They drop him into your hands. After these last few, I don't know what we can do. With the SNRP connection broken, they look down, but I know there are other ways, repairs, other pharmaceuticals. I even heard there are some labs out on the Greenway. Perhaps they can help. They meet your eye. I'm sorry, I can't do no more. Thank you for everything. They look away, their eyes bright with tears. Rabia crosses back to you both and sits beside Sabine. They look at each other, and you can't help but smile at the idea of them together. What are you two plotting? Rabia grins. Sabine laughs. And the sound is a welcome one. You watch the two of them teasing each other and smile. Later, when you leave, you take that handful of vials out of your pocket and look at them. You can still feel that core of anger deep down inside, and you don't know if it will ever leave. But SNRP doesn't own you anymore. They can't. Because this place, these people own you. How long have you been streaming? Like, this stream, or like streaming in general? Because I think today's stream has been about an hour and a half. In general, I guess it's been like about half a year-ish? I didn't keep track of dates, so... They are what makes you get up every cycle. They are what keeps you breathing. You put the vials away and walk through the low end. Your senses tuned to every sight, every smell, and every sound. Soaking it all in. Living. Oh, wow! That's nice. Oh, so we can repair ourselves if we get this skill, huh? I'm gonna do that, though. I think we're approaching the point where, like, what our character archetype is doesn't really matter, because we're we're almost, like, filling everything here. Do some work. No. You lost 69. Why is it always rigged? I don't know. I also don't really know how it works. Damn it! Let's give the kitty some food. I don't wanna gamble. Okay. Rank 1. Nice. Oh, nice. We have a room here, too. We have 3 homes now. God, I wish I had 3 homes. You head down into the Hiffa compound, following a blue painted line that is labeled Laboratories. The member you were assigned to work with told you they'd asked to see you, but you still have no idea what about. The line takes you to a blue door and through to a glass-roofed chamber where a network of stems and leaves filters the sunlight, coming through the ceiling, casting the whole chamber in a strange yellow-green. Peaceful, isn't it? Distracted by the green, you miss the woman standing at a lab bench, camouflaged by the dappled light. "Welcome to my sanctuary," she smiles. "Come, let's talk," she says and beckons you closer. "Who are you?" "Of course, my apologies," she offers a hand to shake. "I am Rico. I run the botany program at HIFA." What is HIFA? She looks surprised. "You've been working in the compound for a while now. I'm surprised you don't know more." She lifts a tiny sample jar. Yellow spores dance inside. HIFA lives off the land of the Greenway. It's what allows us to live like we do. No one here pays or is paid. We sleep here, we feed each other, we work for each other. Rico walks away from the bench and waves for you to follow. She opens a small door and leads you down a glass corridor surrounded by vivid green. "All this," she says, gesturing at the overgrowth. "It's a kind of miracle." She looks at you with bright eyes. "What do you think usually happens to plants on stations like this when they're abandoned?" "They die?" "Eventually, yes. They cannot live without intervention." She leads you left at a crossroads. "But here they endured." She smiles to herself. "Actually, no. They thrived." You look at the bright tendrils wrapped around the metal frames of the corridor. They look dominant, strong, like they're taking control of this place. Rico continues. "Of course, Solheim tried to create a stable biosphere here, patchworking the surface with gardens and algae tanks that feed into a network of microbial reclamation systems. But the Greenway was always envisioned as extractive, a place from which the harvest is removed and sold to those living on the station, not a closed loop." For this reason, when the collapse came, the Greenway should have gone with it. Erlen himself was so convinced of it that his first colony never even came here to try to reclaim it. The Eye instead relied on outside favors and influences, shipments from the inner system, and small-scale agriculture systems like kelp and fungal farm stacks. And yet here we are, among growth and decay, a biosphere flourishing. When HIFA came here, we expected to find only vacuum-dried stalks and leaves, and perhaps some fungal colonies hidden in the mulch. But we found a jungle. With this, Rico hits a button on the wall, and leads you through a large pair of double doors into a huge, impossible chamber. It is every kind of green, from the pale algae tanks to the dark vines that surround them. It is wet, too, a rarity on the Eye. Condensation clouds the light from the high glass roof and gathers on the shiny broad leaves of shrubs. How? That is exactly our question. Rico turns to you, visibly excited by the room you're both standing in. It doesn't make sense, but in many ways the system has stabilized. Unlike the farm stacks closer to the gap, who need input to support their meager output, this place runs itself. Perhaps Solheim managed something new here. Perhaps they tweaked the plants or built new systems buried deep below us. Or perhaps their collapse caused some fortunate cascade, an unlikely chemical reaction within the biosphere. That's what I'd like you to help me find out. She turns to you, her forehead wet with dew. Aren't you the botanist? Astutely noticed. But I don't need a botanist. Rico sits on a railing. These halls run deep, sleeper, and I'm getting old. She stamps her foot on the middle grating of the walkway. Whatever's causing this, it's to be found in the groves deep in the Greenway. HIFA won't spare anyone for an expedition. It's too dangerous and unnecessary, they say. I can make the case, but I can't get the votes. You sleepers are hardy beings. I know that much. And you can speak to the eye, uncover its secrets in ways I never can. She holds out an arm so you can help her stand. Bring me samples, spores, seeds, and blooms. I can grow them in the lab and study them. The deeper they are found, the better. I'll try. Thank you, she smiles, and thank you for listening. Riko leads you back out of the huge chamber and up through the passages. She's a little slower now and stumbles on the steps. You help her where you can. It's good to have new blood in the commune, she says. Many of us have been here a long time, and few come through. She settles back at her bench in the lab, stretching her legs. You go to leave. Come back if you find something, Sleeper, she calls. There are discoveries to be made. And you follow the blue line back up out of the compound, all the time thinking of that impossible magical green. Huh. Damn! Rune agriculture systems. Cool. Do research. Sleeper, Riko greets you without so much as looking up from her work. I have some of yours here. Come see. She beckons you over to a heavyweight-looking console, wired to a series of specimen jars, some of which contain your spores. What does it say? The spores you have here are a real cocktail, selection of types from within the groves, but I've been able to isolate a few. She taps one of the specimen jars. Here we have the Tricoloma matsutake. Riko breezes through the Latin and Japanese pronunciation as if it was nothing. A species Solheim somewhat modified for use on the station. She brings up a panel on her console showing a chemical composition, all gradiented bars and obtuse acronyms. This is the composition of the Solheim modified matsutake spores. Am I supposed to understand that? Not entirely, no, but I think you'll understand this. Riko brings up another panel, identical in layout, but with widely different colors and numbers. You see, this is what your matsutake spores look like. They aren't the same? That's the conclusion, yes. Riko glances at the specimen jar, as if it might have something to add. They are fundamentally the same spores, but they carry different chemicals, different signals. She leans back and sighs. Solheim may have introduced their own tweaked versions at the beginning, but the groves have, and still are, affecting them. Affecting them how? It's hard to tell without samples of fully grown mushrooms. She meets your eye, and herein lies our problem. She moves to another desk where 2 trays sit side by side. The first contains nothing but plant mulch, the second you smell before you even look at. The pungent aroma of the fruiting matsutake like rotting, sodden overalls, laced with an edge of spice. The matsutake here are grown from Solheim stalks, pulled from a spore vault in this complex, she winks. They're delicious, by the way. She sets them aside. The empty tray is germinated with the spores you collected. No activity, no germination, nothing. But the groves are full. Yes, they are. Riko looks at you directly, and you suddenly realized how much she is enjoying this. So here's our puzzle sleeper. Spores from the groves won't grow in the lab. But gathering fruiting bodies from the groves is too unpredictable. We need to grow a fruiting body from some of these spores so we can track it, understand it. In short, I need you to become my mushroom farmer. Actually, I already started. Riko looks impressed. Well, an eager mycologist. I never have guessed. I assume you set yourself up in the aviary? I've been eyeing that place up for its proximity to the groves. Bring me whatever grows, not just matsutake. There's more than a couple of variants in there, so I'll need plenty of samples. She plucks a matsutake cap from the tray. These little things are reflections of their conditions, their smell, their taste, their chemistry. It all derives from the conditions of their growth. She smells the cap. Enough of these, and we'll have a picture of what's happening here, of the ways in which this biosphere is modifying itself, or being modified, whichever the case may be. Riko pops the matsutake cap into her mouth, taking you by surprise. And don't worry, Sleeper. She says while softly chewing. If this turns out to be a dead end, I'll make sure that not a single mushroom will go to waste. Because she's gonna eat them. Okay. It's 5:50-ish. I think I'm gonna stop for now. This game seems to have a lot of depth with the subplots and everything. It's pretty fun. I'd like to come back to it. But in the meantime, let's see. Uh-oh. Okay. I froze for a second there. Let's see who we can raid. Looks like Ember is doing a Guilty Gear Strive stream. Let's go raid her. Oh. No. All right. Thanks for coming. Let's go.